Hi, it's Sean from San Diego Sash Company, and tonight we're going to be running some siding on my Mattison 276 Moulder. This is my Mattison 276 4x6 Moulder. In this case, I'm able to go out to about 7.5. I can get almost 8 inches out of it. This is a later machine, probably built somewhere around 1977. We're going to run the top head. We're running three-sided. I'm going to run the top head first with a straight knife, which you can see here, right there. And that's an 8-inch knife and a 6-inch head, 5/16 steel. And then the side knives here, it's a lap siding, so it's got a pretty big projection. It's about 1.25 inches on the sides. Here's the other one right here. I don't like to run this far out, but it's really the only way to do it in this particular case. I had to remove one of the fences to get the width so it wouldn't hit. This is the siding we're going to run. It's basically a 7.5-inch lap siding made out of redwood. It's coming off a 140-year-old Adobe general store. This was the only sample I could get. It was broken, but siding goes together pretty straightforward, pretty standard lap siding. I'm going to run the top head and the two side heads, but I'm not going to run the bottom because it's 7/8 thick is the in thickness. So the material I'm running is only 15/16, so we're just going to run the top head. That way I can get enough pressure on the pressure bar, which is this piece here. And that should about do it. We're going to finish the setup here, get everything adjusted, and then we'll start running some parts. Right here I'm adjusting the pressure on the chip breaker for the top head. This really keeps the pressure down on the part when it's going through the first head. If there's not enough pressure, the board starts to chatter a bit, so I like to crank it down kind of tight, not too tight, because then it'll tend to get bound up in the machine. So there's a fine line where too much is too much pressure. And it's got this nice spring adjuster on top, so you can really dial in how much pressure you want to put down on that part. And you can see here, that's where it really pushes it down onto the bed and keeps it nice and flat. So this is the outside chip breaker right here in the head, and it's spring loaded. You see there's an adjustment right here for tension on that, so as the part's going through, it kind of pushes it out. I like to run a little bit of pressure on here, not too much, because once again it'll just bind the machine up. It'll bind the part up in the machine and it'll stop running. So there's it's important to get the right pressure on that chip breaker. So the funniest part about this whole thing is you spend 3 hours setting this machine up, and then I've got maybe 300 feet here, and it takes about 15 minutes to run it. So right here I'm resetting my little foot counter. That way I can tell how much material is running through the machine. This is my little Tonka truck. He just sits there and watches the whole time. This is the pressure bar I'm going to be using. I think this one's about 3 inches. I think this is the widest one I have, actually. I usually run the part through a little ways and then bring the tension down onto the part. That way I know I'm not going to run into it and potentially break a casting, so I'll raise it up a little high and then run it through. It's kind of common practice, but you always want to make sure before you start, nothing's hitting the knives, like fences or pressure bars or anything like that, or hoods. Sometimes with these long projections, the hoods get in the way. So it's a little after 6 o'clock, 6:12. We'll see how long it takes to run that material. Want to make sure it's a nice level fit. It seems like it's pretty good. It's a little hard to tell because we're not surfacing the bottom, so there's a lot of inconsistencies, but that's the way it was done originally, so that's kind of what, see how rough it is on the bottom? So there's going to be a little bit of cupping and you know, a little bit of inconsistency, but that's okay in this case. So here's the original. This is the thickness of the original, 0.82. And then here's our new stuff. I'm going to leave it a little thick, just because it'll blend in with the original stuff because there's so much paint on it. It's hard to duplicate 140 years of paint buildup, so I think I'm just going to leave it this thickness. That's it, 256 feet, and there was a little fussing around with the adjustments, so take 10 minutes off of that, so 20 minutes. And nice clean finish, ready for packaging. So this siding is all going to the Santa Ysabel store, which is just a little west of Julian, California. The store was built in approximately 1880, and it was on the Overland Stage Line route during that period. The store is significant because it's one of the last standing adobe general stores in this region, as far as I know. So the Saber Heritage Organization chose to purchase the store and restore it and put it to use as a visitor center. So part of that process is we built new windows for it. We're doing the siding, and we also did some bracket work in front of the store, which we can show in a picture. We did those several weeks ago. And also we did some of the, replicated some of the crown molding that went on to the cornice near the brackets. So, and that's about it.